My name is Matthias Weissl. I am the co-founder and CEO of Verum Capital. Varum Capital is a Swiss-based blockchain advisory firm. We focus on investment banking services, blockchain advisory, education around the blockchain ecosystem in general. The essence of investment banking is ideas, to connect the monetary aspect with the ideas. The blockchain technology allowed really to collect funds in a more diverse way. So basically globally you can collect funds, and through the blockchain technology you can distribute and collect funds in very small fractions. And traditional investment banking goes back towards focusing on accredited investors. Switzerland provides guidance. I think this is the biggest strength. There was a paper published very, very early when it comes to the overall ICO and blockchain landscape. Me as a company, I know exactly would my business model be classified under a payment token, a utility token, a security token, but also they provide guidance in who to talk to. I think this is the overall strength of the Swiss ecosystem next to its very strong service providers, because the service providers, from lawyers, advisors and marketing specialists, they've also become very familiar with the blockchain technology, and that's why from a regulatory perspective as well, from a service provider perspective, Switzerland is a very good place to be for the blockchain technology in general. The biggest misconception about the blockchain is that blockchain equals Bitcoin and Bitcoin equals something bad. When you mention the word Bitcoin or blockchain to people, they think about the darknet, about money laundering and so on. But in reality, the blockchain is the underlying system, the underlying architectural infrastructure and the database around it. It has nothing to do with the Bitcoin in the front. Yes, the Bitcoin is one application of the blockchain. I don't like that misconception that blockchain is something bad. I think best practice in blockchain means to us that we go away from the whole hype-driven scenarios that happened in 2017. 86% of the companies in 2017 that are now being traded on below the market price from 2017. 30% of these companies that have zero value looking back 1 year after what happened in 2017. Best practice to us means when you communicate about your project, you don't do this in a hype manner. You focus on content. Also means that you have an ecosystem of quality providers. For example, a law firm and a sound legal entity set up, the bank account, a clear marketing structure, a clear strategy around your business model, but also your governance. So this is best practice to us. So usually clients come to us and with some sort of idea. We run a due diligence on our clients first. Here we've developed a 450 KPI framework on breaking down these clients. We analyze the team, the token economics, which is the heart of any given blockchain project. We analyze the governance, the compliance, and also the legal entity setup and how these are intertwined and are playing a role towards each other. After this, we help them rebuild their business model. We provide them with a gap analysis on what's missing, what are potential investors looking at, what is from a regulatory view, what are the bad things and the good things they conduct. And then we help them really with the entire execution of a fundraising mechanism. So may that be a security token offering or any other traditional fundraising. We focus on pure blockchain companies, and we help them not only from a strategy consulting point of view, creating the business model, but also executing the entire fundraising process end to end. In Switzerland, I would say the first challenge is a bank account when we talk to startups. We also have a sound legal entity setup. That's a challenge that they're facing. And of course, everybody's looking for money. We've come across some very, very good ideas, but the money and the structure of the business model is something that's often missing. Right now, we see the shift more towards traditional players. Some of the largest companies in Switzerland come to us that want to implement the blockchain technology. So for them, it's not difficult to get a bank account. For them, it's more difficult to create predict value immediately, because a startup has a vision usually. A traditional client, they look at either revenue increase or a cost decrease. These are the two aspects, and it's more short-term for a traditional client. The biggest advantage here in Zurich is, I have to admit, is the access to talent. With the ETH, we have one of the best universities in the world here. This sound educational framework around the city of Zurich, that whenever we have any question or whenever we need an expert in a field, we have somebody to talk to. And this is in Switzerland, for us, the most valuable asset, alongside with this community in Switzerland. At Trusk, we're only, I think there's a couple hundred people that purely work on the blockchain technology. And the blockchain technology is not something you could read in a book. It's about conversing with people. It's having conversations with them, asking them questions, and then receiving their opinions and views. I think this is what takes time, and it's something that the community can provide for us in Switzerland. So last year we've seen, I would say, the year of the utility token, because people wanted to become rich overnight. This is not economically feasible in my opinion. Now we're seeing the shift towards security tokens. Security tokens have an underlying asset. It comes down to the bottom line of any venture capital idea. If you provide value to your users or towards your investors, however you wish to see that, you're going to be successful. If you do not provide value, then it's going to be difficult for you. In the future, we have to really focus on tangible blockchain use cases. Currently, I think we're very much focusing on visions, because everybody's overwhelmed with the opportunities that we're foreseeing with the blockchain technology. Now it's really time to focus on small niche markets and small steps to take, that you and I have really tangible outcomes stemming from the blockchain technology. The blockchain technology makes sense when there's consensus mechanism is required. So it's about decision making. Traditional players, they have a very clear governance around decision making. So there's reporting lines, and the CEO makes the decision with the board and so on. But in the blockchain technology is a decentralized decision making. So this is one application in very broad terms where it makes sense. Digital identity is another area where it makes fully sense, because you do want to have your own identity. There's a lot of people out there in this world that do not have an identity, millions. There's a lot of people out there that their data was stolen. This is also something where the blockchain technology makes sense, to protect your own data, for example. And then, of course, in more financial services directions, we're looking at transactions. Currently, cross-border transactions are very slow. This is where the blockchain technology can provide really some value. I mean, this is not an issue that we have in Switzerland, because we have real-time settlement at the SMB. When you go outside of Switzerland, in third world countries, it can take up to weeks for your transaction to arrive at the other person's account. And this is something the blockchain can do in a matter of minutes. There's, for example, the Berlin School of Sustainable Futures. This is a newly formed university providing master degree, MBA, PhD, and other learning certificates. What's so special about this school? That the school will be administered on the blockchain technology. When I apply to the school, my certificate, my process, all my transactions, my data will be stored on the blockchain technology. All my transactions are being conducted via a university token here. What's very interesting about this concept here, we're creating this new ecosystem and trying to incentivize people the right way. The top students each year, they receive an incentivation, and this incentivation would be a dividend of the university. So me as a student, I'm very much committed to my performance, first of all, and later on I will be a very committed alumni. I want my school to be successful, and through this university we're creating an ecosystem of some of the leading countries in the world that bridge the gap between academia and industry, because currently no curriculum can keep up with the pace of innovation. Our goal is to have industry companies basically provide real use cases towards students, so the students can work on them and they emerge over time. And me as a student, I would have immediate exposure towards the industry and have a better opportunity not only educate myself in a very practical way, but also to land a job at the end of the day.